Welcome back to another week of Student of the Gun Radio. And congratulations for making the good decision, the prudent decision, to tune in today and to tune in all week long. We're glad that you're with us. We're glad that we hope that you're celebrating the President's Day. And remember when we actually had presidents that we could be proud of? Do you remember that, Jared? I know it's hard.
No,
it's hard for you to remember.
Yeah, I am. I don't think we've really.
Yeah, well, since you're just a young puppy, it's hard to remember.
This is the first president of my adult life, really.
I know, that's sick.
Yeah.
That's really sick and twisted. But
happy President's Day.
Happy President's Day. I don't know how this is going to affect our listenership because we know we got a lot of commuters. But I also believe that most of our listeners actually have they are productive citizens. They have real jobs, and they don't get to take this day off.
Well, I mean,
not that if you have today off that you don't,
do.
But I know we're not taking today off. We don't get 3-day weekends.
We've got a lot of people in. I know our main listenership is in California now, so I'm guessing they're working for either a big company or something like that, or the state. And I know the state has the day off.
Well, yeah, the post offices and banks are going to be closed. But for the rest of us, we can't take today off. We're going to honor President. Now, for all of you, Jared, we probably, I know that we've got some people in the audience that went to public school in the last 20 years and probably don't realize what President's Day is all about and why we have a, quote, President's Day. People, I'm guaranteeing you, Jared, that there are people that currently occupy the United States of America that think President's Day is a day that we're supposed to celebrate the accomplishments of all of the presidents of the United States of America.
Yeah.
And that's not it. Back when your host, Professor Paul Markle, and that's who I am, by the way, and the other voice that you hear is Jared, my co-host, studio engineer, and producer. Back when I was a young crumb cruncher, we had Lincoln's birthday and Washington's birthday, both on the calendars. And so when we went to school, and, you know, when I went to Eastland Elementary School in Roseville, Michigan, we would go in January and February, and, you know, we would have the different holidays and what have you. And we would do little reports on George Washington, on Washington's birthday. And we would do, you know, little reports on Lincoln, on Lincoln's birthday. And well, what happened over the years, and you know, I don't know how long ago it's been, but they kind of melded Washington's birthday and Lincoln's birthday. They melded them together, and they created a President's Day. President's Day is not to celebrate every president of the United States of America. It's to celebrate coexisting the birthdays of Washington and Lincoln, even though they don't necessarily fall on their birthday. So all of you who went to public school and have no idea. Really? Seriously, you had no idea what President's Day was for? So you're welcome. But anyway, it is a Monday. It is time to get into it. We've got a lot of cool stuff in store for you guys today. Welcome to the new week. And Jared wants to tell you guys about it says in my show notes, announce special discount for grad program members. Jared, you want to take care of that one, since you are that guy?
As you guys know, and if you don't know, you're about to find out, we opened up pre-orders for the Patriot Fire Team, the autographed version of the Patriot Fire Team book. It's a physical book. It'll be shipped directly to you. And what I did is I sent out the grad program last Friday, and it included a 15% discount for the first 10 copies of that book. Well, that went so fast that I just re-enabled the coupon, and you can still get that, but you have to be a member of the grad program. That email, the one that I sent out on Friday, will be available until this coming Friday when I update it again. So if you want to get that discount, then go to studentofthegunradio.com, click on the little grad program picture with Dad wearing his little hat there. What is that called? A grad cap or graduation cap? Yeah. Click on that and then sign up for the grad program, and you'll get immediate access to a bunch of stuff. The 15% discount, and I'm going to go ahead and let Dad tell you a little bit more of the stuff that's involved with the grad program.
Well, you get every week, four times a month on Friday, or every Friday, you're going to get the bonus hour, and that's a subscriber-only hour of Student of the Gun Radio, and that's big boy time. It's almost a full hour. Usually it's like 53, 54 minutes or so, 55 minutes sometimes, of unedited, uncensored Student of the Gun Radio. Things that we, for one reason or another, often we use audio clips that we pulled during the week that contain adult language, and we can't use those during the family-friendly hour. And obviously I do not use adult language during the family-friendly hour. But all bets are off on Friday during the grad program hour. It's big boy time. It's big girl time. No censoring anything during that. And in addition to that, you also get every month the Tactical Tutor newsletter, and that's an exclusive for the grad program members. Only you guys get that. And it's tips and tidbits and information and education about all things tactical related, armed defense. And
you got any tips?
You got any tips? You got tips? You got any tips? You shredded like a julienne salad. And, of course, so you get the Tactical Tutor newsletter. You get the bonus hour radio every Friday. And in addition to that, what Jared just told you is people that are grad program members get preferential treatment as far as discounts and so forth. So, and we let you know about it first, essentially. Like a lot of you guys have listened to Friday's show. If you listen to Friday's show as a grad program grad member, you heard things that we'll probably be talking about during the week, but you got it first. And we've done how many giveaways have we done so far since we've been doing the grad program? We gave away the Blackhawk flashlights. We gave away the car pistol with a holster. In addition to the pistol and the holster, we also gave you a Velocity trigger.
We gave two of those away.
We gave two away. We gave one away first to the grad program member, and then after the grad program member was chosen, we picked out a public listener to give a Velocity trigger to, and that was when we had to send 3 emails out because people weren't opening their emails and approving it.
Yeah,
dudes,
I'm almost all done with the public giveaways.
Yeah, well,
we can't be because we can't stop doing it. Well, we're going to do less of them.
Here's the deal, dudes, and this is a serious note. You guys, when you sign up for the Student of the Gun, the broadcast, the public broadcast, or the I guess e-blast or whatever,
the emails
for the emails,
yeah,
and people will they try and like game the system or something where they'll like, oh, I'm going to sign up, but I'm going to use this email that I don't ever check, or I don't want to get a bunch of spam. And we don't spam you, and if you think that we're spamming you, don't sign up. But the deal is, we give away a lot. The last 2-3 years, we've given away a buttload of crap. We gave away a Chris Vector carbine package with a sight and optics and everything. We gave away a Keltec KSG shotgun. We gave away a PMR 30 Keltec. We've given away pistols. What else did we give away? We gave away a bunch of flashlights. We've given away holsters. We've given away free training. Anyway, my point is this. Before we will announce a winner, Jared sends an email to the address that you gave, that you provided when you signed up for the newsletter. And you have 24 hours to respond, or we're going to pick somebody else. And
here's what I'm going to do.
What's that?
Here's what I'm going to do from now on. The service that we use to collect the emails and communicate with you guys, it allows me to separate it by active subscribers or just overall subscribers.
So you subscribe once but never open an email?
Yeah, so okay. I'm going to start filtering it by
activity.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I guess I'll just choose active subscribers, and if you're not one, then you're not going to be on the list to choose from.
Here's the crazy thing is, well, not only did we have to send out 4 emails to give away the Velocity trigger, when we gave away the Keltec shotgun, how many was it, 2 or 3?
Yeah, 3, I think.
I think it was we had to choose 3 winners because people weren't opening their emails.
Yeah, I'm all done with that.
Yeah. So
if you don't want to receive stuff from us, then we don't want you on our list.
How dumb would you feel if you don't check your email for 5 days and you open it and you're like, congratulations, you're the winner of a Keltec KSG shotgun. Please respond within 24 hours. You feel pretty dumb, wouldn't you?
Too late.
Oh, well. Anyway, we're trying to give... Dude, it's like I have this free, cool stuff that I want to give people. And they're like, nah, that's okay. I don't need your free guns and
Speaking of
holsters and stuff.
Free cool stuff. I don't think they've released it yet. The 5 tips thing. Got any tips?
Got any tips?
But Dad did an exclusive interview with University of Guns. And
yeah.
He did a video interview where they did like a little conference call or whatever. I wasn't there for this.
It was I don't think it wasn't GoToMeeting, it wasn't Skype, it was Google Hangout. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, it was a GoToMeeting, but anyway,
that doesn't matter. He did this. It was a whole hour long or so. What? Right? It was about an hour.
Something like that. Yeah.
Anyway, so this dude, his name's Dylan. He was talking to Dad for about an hour about 5 tips every carrier needs to know. So if you carry a gun, if you don't, you need to. But if you carry a gun, then you need to watch this interview. And what I did is I attached it to the email that I sent to the grad program members, so they get exclusive early access to that.
Did you send them the whole entire thing?
Yep. Okay. It's a whole entire video, hour-long video.
Congratulations, or I'm sorry, one of the two. All right, well, this let's dive into it. Are you ready to dive into it?
Yeah.
All right. Before we dive into it, we want to tell you that this segment of Student of the Gun Radio is brought to you by Velocity Triggers, the fastest triggers. No, that's not it.
The fastest
Engineered
triggers.
for precision, designed for precision. Velocity Triggers, you can check them out at velocitytriggers.com. And also, in addition to Velocity Triggers, it is also brought to you by Brownells. If you own a gun, Brownells has something for you, I promise. So check them out and not at Velocity Triggers, at brownells.com. All right, Jared, go ahead and bump us in with our update theme, and then we'll dive into it.
Ich bin Allah so dankbar, ein Muslim sein zu dürfen. Das geht an die Oma, wir sind die Oma. Check das aus. Bismillah.
That was the unedited or the unmixed version, huh?
Yeah, that was the unmixed version.
The unmixed version. Okay, this story comes to us from, though there's all kinds of sources, there's tons of sources on this, but the particular one that we chose is one from the continent. And, well, I don't know if you call them the continent because they are an island, but the dailymail.co.uk. And the title is Danish Lone Wolf Jihadi who was gunned down by police in dramatic standoff after Copenhagen terrorist shootings, which killed film director and Jewish security guard. Another SEO title. And this is the crazy thing about these stories, Jared, is that like the first paragraph will just be one super long run-on sentence, and it's kind of hard to make sense of it all because that's the way journalism is today. But it said this, and of course you can't see pictures, but it says this is the first picture of a terror suspect believed to have killed a film director and Jewish security guard in 2 attacks in Copenhagen. That's Copenhagen, Denmark. Danish-born Omar Abdel Hamid El Hussein, 22, was killed after opening fire on officers who had closed down the area surrounding Norebro, Norre, Norebro metro station at 5 a.m. today. And this is the date line on this is February 14th, 2015. The man, whom police said is known to them due to his past violent, gang-related activities and possession of weapons, is thought to have killed 2 people in separate attacks at a free speech event and at a synagogue. Now, folks, what do we see right there? Number 1, the man who is known to police because of why. So this isn't his first go-round. He is what you would call a recidivist criminal. What? You mean where criminals don't get caught once and then they punish them and they say, oh, I'm sorry that I'm a bad person. I'm going to stop doing that. No, let me see. Past violence, gang-related activities, and possession of weapons. And what's his name? What was his name? McGillicuddy? No, Omar Abdel Hamid El Hussein. I bet you he's a good Irish Catholic boy. What do you think? I'm going to go with no. All right, it says film director Finn Norgard, 55, was killed yesterday at a cafe. Hours later, a 37-year-old security employee, Dan Uzan, was shot in the head as he stood outside a building belonging to the city's great synagogue. Here's the problem. Well, there's lots of problems here. We have the religion of peace. We have essentially what we're going to call what did I dub these jihadis, Jared? Muslim what? Muslim missionaries. You have a missionary for the religion of peace here who's decided to go out and kill a film director. Now, what was his crime? What did he do? He was a peace in certain, not particularly this one, but I've read several stories, and it said that he was a peace film director, whatever a peace film director is. So he was going for peace there. Now, before I get too far into this, let's go ahead, and Jared's got an audio clip from the UK news here.
There's so many video clips in this story. I'm trying to find the correct one.
Oh, the Danish police shoot dead man they believe responsible for attacks. You got that one there?
That's the video. That's what the video is called.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm getting that.
Yeah, that's the thing with the Daily Mail.
This website sucks.
Pretty much every website is they flood it with photos. And the crazy thing
it's
about...
because you can put the metadata in the photos, you can put like a ton of it, and it just takes up a little bit of space because it's a picture.
Metadata. Jared's like dropping all this like web developer lingity on you guys there. But and part of the problem if you're us and you're doing show prep is you put a link to a story in there.
Oh, it looked like a picture because
and
I already clicked play on the video. So
as days go by, they update the stories and they change them and they'll pull things out of them. So, but we want to go ahead and give you the actual news story here, and then we're going to talk about it.
Police in the Danish capital Copenhagen have shot dead a man they believe was responsible for two shootings that claimed the lives of two civilians just hours apart. Investigators said there was nothing to suggest there were other gunmen involved in the two earlier attacks, in which a man died after being shot in the head near a synagogue and a 55-year-old man was killed at a freedom of speech event. The gathering featured controversial Swedish cartoonist and historian Lars Vilks, who depicted the Prophet Muhammad with the body of a dog in 2007. The cartoonist was unharmed in the attack, which took place in the Crystal Gate area of the city, with two police officers also shot in the arm and leg, and the gunman fleeing the scene on foot. The shootings come little more than a month after the attack on the offices of French satirical magazine Charlie Hebdo in Paris, which left 12 people dead.
I don't know why they're pausing to show that stuff, but anyway. All right, folks, here's what you need to know. What have we told you about patterns of behavior and about how these folks work? Right now, they've adopted the pattern of behavior of the lone wolf or the small unit tactics, and they're just getting military-style hardware. I believe the murder in there was the Charlie Hebdo attack, but you know what people are forgetting and they're not talking about, Jared? The media and the journalists, they're all worked up about the Charlie Hebdo. They're all worked up about that attack because, well, media people were killed. And now that media, it's like, what did Sonny say last week? He goes, we've had thousands upon thousands of people butchered by ISIS in Syria and northern Iraq. Thousands upon thousands of people are butchered by these goat rapists. But nobody gets upset until you shoot some journalists. And then they're like, oh, we have to do something about these guys. This is serious. What did the Joker say?
He's like, Zach said something.
Everyone, we've got thousands of Christians murdered in Iraq and Syria. And but a few journalists get killed and everyone loses their minds. That was my Joker impression.
What was the Joker? What did he talk about?
Oh,
a bus full
a bus full of soldiers, or a truckload of soldiers get killed every day overseas, and nobody cares. And goes, but a couple of people, whatever. It was in the Heath Ledger, bless his heart. That was in his Batman movie. It was Batman Returns or whatever Batman that was, where he was the Joker. Anyway, but yeah, Zach put the nail on it. He said, yeah, so thousands of Christians and non-whatever believers are put to death, executed in just horrible, heinous ways, and nobody bats an eye in Europe, and then some journalists get killed, and everyone's freaking out. But the one thing that they're not talking about is right in conjunction with the Charlie Hebdo thing was an attack on a Jewish deli where the guy walked in and gunned some people down, and eventually they killed him, so go team, but his nasty girlfriend apparently got away. And the hardware that guy used was fully automatic military hardware that he got through illegal channels. Folks, do you think Europe has strict gun control? The answer is yes. Europe has very, very strict gun control. So how are all these terrorists getting guns? Well, because they're terrorists and they have support networks. And if you're Johnny Jihad and you're down with the struggle, someone's going to get a gun, they're going to put it in your hand. Now, folks, I'm telling you this. This is coming to the USA. I'm actually, quite frankly, surprised that it's not happening on a regular basis yet in the USA. But this is the MO. And all these guys who took little jihadist vacations to Syria and northern Iraq and all those happy places on their dual citizenship passports from Canada and the United States, and then we don't have the stones to jail them or forbid them from coming back in, so they go over. What did Jay Gibson say? Jared, you remember? He said they go over and they have this little jihadist vacation. They get their jihad on. They go out there and they pop off a couple mags worth of AK ammo. And they're like, "Ooh, I'm a warrior of the faith. Now I'm going to get on a plane and I'm going to fly back to Toronto, or I'm going to fly back to New York, or I'm going to fly to Philadelphia." And they come back home, and guess what? They think that they're all bad jihadis. And they're going to get some of their buddies together, and they're going to do it at the Mall of America or at a mall near you. This is real, people. This isn't a joke. We're not kidding. We're not playing around here. But it seems like the people that are supposed to be the most concerned about that are the least concerned. The U.S. State Department and the administration, if you want to call it that, they can't bend over backwards hard enough or far enough to excuse these turds and tell us to not rush to judgment and all that jazz. I don't know what else to tell you. It's real, it's happening, and if you're not prepared for it, I'm not really sure what to say to you. Are we ready to move on, Jared?
Yeah, we can move on. Okay,
let's go ahead and move on to the good guy of the week question. And you go ahead and answer that question or ask that question. We'll answer it, and then we'll continue on.
Okay, I'll go ahead and ask the question for you. Real quick before I do that, I want to open up this for everybody that can hear my voice. I want you to consider what update song would be good for the Exercise Good Guy of the Week, because we need to have a song for this since we do it every week. Go ahead and send your suggestions to Jared, Jarrad, at studentofthegun.com, or go to the forum. It's forums.studentofthegun.com, and post your little suggestion there in the thread. This week's good guy is Motoman22, and he posts his question in the forum. Like I said, it's forums.studentofthegun.com, and if we pick you as a winner, post your question in there. If we pick you, then you win an Excess Sites Good Guy pack, which includes a bunch of swag from Excess Sites, and that is the correct use of the term swag, is it not?
It is the correct use, yeah.
I saw a shirt today when we were at lunch. It said, "Swag don't ever stop," or something like that.
I don't even know what to say about that. Yeah.
It was retarded and insane and crazy.
It was crazy insane.
Anyway, Motoman22 says that he's going to send me his information to Jared, Jarrad, at studentofthegun.com. I need your name, your mailing address, your phone number, your shirt size, and include your email typed in there for me, please. He says, "What do you recommend for nightstand gun storage when you have small children in the house? I currently put an unchambered firearm between my bed frame and mattress. I feel this is safe as both my children are small enough that they lack the physical ability to operate the slide. I have been considering purchasing the Hornady Rapid Safe and using the wrist bracelet at night. What are your thoughts, and what would you recommend for safe practice?
Okay. Number one, as soon as your children are old enough, teach them about firearm safety. That's number one, as soon as they're old enough. And you say, well, my kids aren't. They're little rugrats. They're little crumb crunchers. They're crawling around and, toddlers and stuff. Okay, gotcha. Toddlers aren't smart enough to know not to put their fingers in the wall socket, touch the hot stove, and what have you. So you have to protect them from themselves. You got all those little latches. When you got baby kids, what do? You put latches on the sink cupboard so they can't open them and crawl under the sink. You put the little special covers on the wall sockets so they don't stick their fingers in them and what have you. And how do you have a gun for home defense and a kid at the same time? Well, number one, I would put my gun into or on something. Basically, it should take at least 2 steps to access the gun. You don't ever want to leave loaded guns just laying around naked, ready to go. You want to put them in holsters, in some kind of a device that doesn't allow you to just snatch it and put your finger on it. Because let's face it, if you wake up in the middle of the night, that crash, bump, thump at night, and you wake up with a cold sweat at 3:30 a.m., and you, in a blind panic, reach for a gun, you're going to be clawing like a caveman. You don't want your finger to go right directly onto the trigger, regardless of how it's set up.
Did you mention the bedside backup yet?
No.
Are you going to?
Well,
this dude keeps his gun between his bed frame and mattress. So what would
Crossbreed
be better
Holsters makes a thing called a bedside backup, and essentially it's a holster that slips between the mattress and the box spring. It's not a holster. It's actually, go to crossbreedholsters.com and check it out. It's called the bedside backup. It's a good way to keep a gun. Now, we've talked about that before. When you're awake, the gun should be on you. It should be attached to your body. Well, you're not going to sleep with a gun. Okay, so what do? You go to bed and you stick it in the holster. Now, the holster doesn't keep the kids from pulling it out. It's not a
no, but I think it would be a better
holster,
option than what he does right now.
Than laying on it, yeah. Well, you could do that. You could put the unchambered gun in there.
Yeah.
You can always use height to your advantage. You can always put the gun up high. Let's face it, a 2-year-old is only about 2 feet tall. They can't reach a 5-foot shelf.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong here about the empty chamber thing. If somebody kicked my door in or busted through my window, I wouldn't want them to hear me racking my slide.
Well, I'm not really so much worried about the rack and the slide. I'm not worried about the noise. I'm worried about the fact that if you carry a gun on you all the time, loaded and ready to go, when you pull it out, you know that it's ready to go. And then if you start doing the sometimes it's loaded, sometimes it's not, then you play that game where you don't want to be playing that game at 2 o'clock in the morning. Did I chamber around? The truth of the matter is, if you snatch up a gun that wasn't attached to your body, the first thing you should do is tap the magazine base and rack the slide anyway, just to make sure that the round is chambered. But one might fall on the ground. Okay, we'll get it later. It'll be all right, I promise. There is no perfect, if you want to do a rapid safe. I'm not really familiar with the wristband or the wrist bracelet thing. I'm assuming that it has like an RFID thing where you wave it over it and it unlocks it. That's cool too. If you want to do that, rock on. But here's what I'm going to tell you. And the wrist bracelet, we probably could do a little more research on this. Hornady doesn't buy airtime on our show. But the one thing that I'm always leery about is anything that requires fine motor skills or a combination to get into when you're in a panic. You're like, well, I could practice it a bunch. Well, okay, you can practice it a bunch. But the fact is that adrenaline, that blind panic dump of adrenaline is going to make it difficult for you to work combinations on anything. Now, obviously, you don't want to have a negligent shooting, so you're going to have to do a little bit of a balancing act there. If you can find something that will work for you, hey, rock on. Use height. Keep the guns up high, keep them away from the kids. And, I actually did the same thing when Jared was little. When Jared was, 18 months old, 19 months, 2 years. And I would, when I was a police officer and I came home, I would take my gun off and I would set it up so that you had to chamber a round before you could shoot it. And this was 20 plus years ago. How long has it been since you were 2? 23 years. Yeah,
wow.
It's been that many years. It's been a long time.
I'm getting old.
So yeah, that is one way to do it. And some people can't afford, like, the little safes and what have you. I will tell you this, though. You should always, if you're up and awake, you need to have the gun on your body. It needs to be attached to you, because it doesn't do you any good if you're downstairs making breakfast or lunch or doing laundry or whatever. Someone kicks in your front door. You're like, hang on, my gun safe is upstairs in my bedroom. Let me run up and open it. No, it's not going to work for you. Now, that actual discussion, the reason that, thank you for asking that, Moto Man. The reason that we picked that question out is because we had a story this week that we wanted to take some time to address, because it's a serious issue and it has to do with a negligent discharge. And this final segment of Student of the Gun Radio, is brought to you by SWAT Fuel. And if you would like to check out SWAT Fuel at swatfuel.com, they have the 9mm plus P, the 9mm fat burner formula, the 40 cal vitamins and so forth. If you decide you want to make a purchase, you get excited, you're like, I'm going to buy something, stop yourself real quick, put in the promo code when you get to the checkout, and it says promo code, click it, put SOTG2014 in there. You're going to save 20% off your total order, and that's a big deal. Basically, it's like getting, I guess, the shipping for free or more, shipping plus, what have you.
On the kid subject, are you done with that thought?
Well, I'm going to go on to the next story, but...
Yeah, well, it still has to do with kids. But on the kid subject, we've got the kid gun safety thing. We've got a couple things coming out in the near future. One's going to be a video, and the other's going to be a poster.
That's right.
So look forward to those. It'll be stuff that your kids will like.
Exactly. All right, this story comes to us from the Microsoft News Network, or whatever MSNBC stands for. I know. You're like, what? This is because this was the first place that I saw it. And the title of the story is, Deputy leaves gun on bed, comma. Daughter picks it up and shoots her sister. And you're like, what? You hear the title, and you think, oh, it must have been like a toddler or like a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old. And, there's lots of things here. You're incensed. They're like, how could a deputy be so reckless? And then you say, well, how could you allow a child? Well, let me tell you. It says right here, it says, a 10-year-old girl accidentally shot her 8-year-old sister with her father's service weapon Friday morning. And the Friday morning in question, this story again came to us on the 14th. It says, Friday morning after he left it on the bed while getting ready for work. The girl's injury, fortunately, does not appear to be life-threatening. Okay, great. Says the girl's father is a deputy for Madera County Sheriff's Department. He said the man was getting ready to go to work at 7:48 a.m. and placed his service weapon on the bed before heading to the bathroom. There was one bullet in the chamber. Actually, it wasn't just a bullet. It was an entire cartridge of ammunition. If it was just a bullet, then what do we know? Then it would have been okay. Actually, it wouldn't have been okay. It would have been I know you true gun people out there go crazy when people that don't know anything about guns say bullets. But let's cut them some slack here. There was one bullet in the handgun's chamber, in addition to a case and a primer and powder. The magazine had been removed, he said. Okay, what does that mean? So I'll take the magazine out. This cop doesn't know that his gun doesn't have a magazine disconnect on it. And by the way, I'm on record as I don't like guns that have magazine disconnects. I think it's just another thing that can break and go wrong with the gun. While he was in the bathroom, his daughters entered the bedroom. The older girl picked up the handgun and accidentally shot her younger sister. Well, all right. These are children. I'll give them that, but it wasn't an accident. It was negligence. If you do something resulting in the harm of another because you ignored a situation or ignored a safety precaution, it's not an accident, it's negligence. Now, if she picked it up and was just holding it and it fired itself, well, okay. But then that's not really an accident either, is it? What do we know about the universal safety rules? And you say, but Paul, these are kids, these are children. The children can't know. Folks, let me tell you what. Jared and his sister and his brother, by the time they went to kindergarten, they might not have been able to recite the universal safety rules verbatim, but they knew this. Guns are not toys. We don't play with guns. Daddy owns guns. This is a gun, and I would get guns out, I clear them, safe them, and let the kids look at them. If you want to touch Dad's guns, if you want to talk about a gun, if you want to go shoot a gun, if you want to do anything with a gun, all you have to do is tell me and we'll do it. Anytime you want to talk about guns, see guns, touch guns, whatever, let me know, let your mom know, and we'll do it. Okay? Are we good? All right. By the time a kid is 5 years old, by the time they're ready for kindergarten, they can be taught, don't play with sharp objects. Razor blades are sharp. They will cut you. Don't put your fingers in the wall sockets. It'll shock you. Don't touch the stove when the fire is up there. It will burn you. You can teach a 5-year-old stuff like that, right? You can teach a 5-year-old, this is a gun. Guns are dangerous. Yes, guns are dangerous. Power drills are dangerous. So are chainsaws and razor blades. We can teach people that they are dangerous. Now, they're useful tools, but they're also dangerous tools. You can teach a kid, this is a firearm, we don't play with it. Let them handle it, look at it, touch it, whatever, and then take it away and say, all right, if you ever come upon, we taught our kids when they were little, if you ever come upon a gun and there's not an adult around, go find an adult. Don't touch the gun, don't play with the gun, and so forth. This is the dangerous end, and so on. That's a 5-year-old. Let's say 6, let's say maybe your kid's a slow learner and you can't teach him that until 6. A 10-year-old, there is no reason, well, there is a reason, is the kids haven't been taught. There is no reason that a 10-year-old whose father is a sheriff's deputy and carries a gun every day has not been taught that that gun on Daddy's hip is a tool. It's a dangerous tool. It's not a toy. You don't pick it up. You don't play with it. You don't point it at your sister. You don't point it at anyone because it could kill them. I've worked with the 4-H shooting sports program. And the 4-H shooting sports program, if memory serves, you had to be, I'm thinking, age 10 to start in it was either 9 or 10 to go to a 4-H shooting sports meeting and actually start participating, if memory serves. I can't remember the exact age, but I'm thinking it was in the 9-10 range. And when you had 9-year-olds and 10-year-olds, the first thing we would do, because it was easy, it was cost-effective, and it was something that the kids could do safely, was we would introduce them to air guns, air rifles and air pistols. But you treat the air rifles and the air pistols exactly like you treat real firearms. You teach them about the muzzle, you teach them about the trigger, you teach them that you don't ever point it at anything you're not willing to shoot, that it's not a toy, to keep their fingers off the trigger and away from the trigger until their sights are on the target and they made the decision to shoot. And so if you start a kid out like that at 9, 10 years old, by the time they're 12, 13, 14, they've got it down. They know it's part of their DNA. Gun safety will be part of their DNA because they've been taught from the time they were little. And my kids knew by the time they were 10 or 11 years old, they knew the muzzle is the dangerous end. You don't ever point it at anyone. You treat all guns as if they're always loaded and so forth. You can teach your kids the universal safety rules. It is 100% possible. And I'm not trying to bag on this deputy here, but here's what I'm going to say. It's negligent if you are a gun owner, if you are a gun carrier, and you don't teach your kids the universal safety rules, especially at age 10, 8, 9, 10. If they haven't been taught universal gun safety rules by then, I'm going to tell you what, folks, you're wrong. If you're a gun owner, if you're a gun carrier, and you haven't taught your children, and I'm not talking about Eddie Eagle, see a gun, go get an adult, blah, blah, blah. That's like kindergarten-y stuff. I'm talking about real universal gun safety rules. If you haven't taken the time to teach your kids that, then you're wrong, and you need to fix yourself. This whole, you know what the hippies say, the hippies and the liberals and the sandwich makers, their way of keeping kids safe from guns is to ban guns or to force you to lock your guns in safes and hide the ammo and make you liable and blah, 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 blah. Their answer is never education. Their answer is always hide the guns. Don't talk about the guns. Keep the guns away. Kids are too fragile to even know that guns exist, blah, 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 blah. We've got to be better than that. And that's the whole reason that I brought up this story about this deputy is we, as a firearms community, as a gun-owning community, we've got to hold ourselves to a higher standard. And that's it. That is it. Whether or not you get your kids involved in 4-H shooting sports or Boy Scout shooting sports or anything like that, doesn't matter. If you've got guns in your home, if you're a gun carrier, I mean, for Pete's sake, if you have a gun attached to your body and you carry one, as soon as your kids can be taught fire is hot, knives are sharp, electricity hurts, as soon as they can grasp that concept, they should be able to. I mean, do you leave power drills and chainsaws laying around? You know? Do you leave the really sharp steak knives laying out on the table so that your 3-year-olds can reach up and grab them? No, of course you don't. Well, you teach them, hey, don't touch that. That's sharp. It could hurt you. Okay.
Yeah, but guns are designed to kill and knives weren't.
Okay, whatever.
So
fire's designed to
burn. You should ban the
burn.
guns. And, well, if you live in UK, then ban the knife, too.
Well, yeah. In the UK, they're going to bubble wrap all their kids from birth to death. But we're not talking about the UK. We're talking about America.
Yeah, what was the other one that I came up with? Death has no glamour, ban the hammer.
Oh, yeah, ban the hammer. We're going to have to ban hammers now because people are killing each other with hammers. But, folks, and, you know, Jared and I, we talked off air yesterday. We do talk off air, don't we, Jared?
Yeah.
And we decided that that would be something good for us to do, would be to come up with an actual legitimate student of the gun poster that has the safety rules printed on it that you could take and you can put it in your home. Actually put it in your home. And if you've got kids, make them read it. We're going to get them. We're going to put them here in Student of the Gun University so when people enter the public reception area that it's going to be right there for them to see. And because there's no excuse. We have to hold ourselves to a higher standard. And that is, you know, truth is that is the bottom line.
And it'll be visually appealing as well as have the correct information on it. So you'll want to put it
If
up.
it's not visually appealing, you can talk to Jared about that because it's going to be his deal. I did the verbiage, and you can do the look. How's that sound?
The verbiage was easy.
I'm the wordsmith freak. You're the designer.
Okay.
Live with it.
Did you? Oh, you already did the outline.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So that's it. It's Monday. We're coming right up to the tail end of Student of the Gun. Let me tell you what we're going to talk about a little bit tomorrow. Don't miss tomorrow's show. I know that a lot of you guys had Monday off. Maybe some of you did for President's Day. You might be catching up. That's cool. But tomorrow we're going to talk about something that just happened. Apparently, the BATFE became, when you weren't watching, a part of the executive, legislative, and judicial branches of government. Now, I know a lot of you guys went to public school, and you're like, what? What is all this different branches of government? They're all the same, right? Well, no, not really. Hopefully you learned, if you went to school, that they have this thing built into the Constitution called the separation of powers so that one branch of government doesn't become all-powerful over the others. Kind of crazy, huh? That Jefferson and Hamilton, those Madison and Adams guys, they're so crazy trying to keep the government in check by separating powers. We don't need that in 2015. We just need an all-powerful central government figure to keep us safe from ourselves. Because you know we're all a bunch of peasants and we can't keep ourselves safe. We're just too dumb. I wouldn't even know how to wipe my butt if there wasn't a government manual that told me how to do it.
Apparently, employees wouldn't know how to wash their hands if there weren't signs by the sinks.
That's right. They don't know how to wash their hands until the government tells them they should do it. I haven't been washing my hands ever. Now, but if you're a member of the religion of peace and you're a goat rapist, it's against, apparently in some places, it's against your religion to wash your hands. So there's that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. Time to kick off a brand new week, and we're going to kick it. So until next time, remember, what are you? You're a beginner once, but you should be a student for life.